Hello class 10. Today I will start with the chapter the reproductive system. Now before that I want to convey one message to you. I hope you all know till now, but then also I wanted to inform you about the reduced syllabus for your year, that is 2021. The chapters which are not there in your syllabus are the human evolution, chemical coordination in plants, and pollution. These three chapters are removed from your syllabus this year. So all other chapters are there. Only these three, I repeat again, pollution, chemical coordination in plants, and human evolution. These three are removed from your syllabus. Clear? Now today I am starting with reproductive system. It's a very important chapter for your ICSE syllabus because you will definitely get questions from here, both short as well as long. It is the process of producing new individuals of the same kind. Now students, same kind doesn't mean always the Xerox copies. Same kind can be exactly identical or can be the shuffling of two parental genes. Okay. This process is essential for the continuance of life on earth, and here we will study about that. Now what is the definition? Reproduction is the formation of new individuals by sexual or asexual means which can repeat the process in their own turn. This is the definition. Now, many simpler organisms you have heard about, like bacteria, like yeast, which is a fungi, they reproduce by very simple techniques like fission or budding. Many plants also reproduce vegetatively, non-sexually by various methods, but in humans, reproduction takes place only by the sexual method. Now, what are the two patterns of patterns of reproduction? One is asexual, another is sexual. Okay. Now, asexual reproduction, under this mode, the reproductive units may consist of any portion of the parent body. The size of the units can range from the whole of the parent body to even just a small fragment of it. Example they have given, like in Hydra, a multicellular organism, reproduction takes place by means of small buds which grow out of the body of Hydra, get separated and then grow into individual organisms. Sexual reproduction occurs in mostly higher organisms where they include the production of gametes. Gametes means sex cells. In males, these are sperm, and in females, these are eggs. They are very small, microscopic, and the gametes must normally unite, that means fertilize, to produce a zygote, which through the process of development finally becomes the offspring. Okay. Now they have given in the next page the table, that is the difference between sexual and asexual reproduction. All the 5 points you have to learn. Clear? Now, reproduction in humans. The primary reproductive parts include the gonads, that means testes in males and ovaries in females. Gonads means the sex organs which produce the sex cells, that is gamete, the sperms and eggs. The accessory reproductive parts like ducts and glands help in the transfer and meeting of the two kinds of sex cells, leading to fertilization and in the growth and development of the egg up to the birth of the baby. Right. Now we will come to the male reproductive system. Here, what are the organs we must know first? First, they have one pair of testes. They have sperm duct or vas deferens. They have accessory glands like seminal vesicles, prostate, and bulbourethral, penis, and urethra. Now, what are these testes? They are oval organs which contain which is contained in a thin walled sac of skin called scrotum. Okay, now we have to know what is the function of this scrotum. In the embryonic stage, the testes are contained within the abdomen. They descend into the scrotum shortly before birth. An abnormal condition results when they do not descend, and it leads to sterility, that means incapability to produce sperms. Now, why this is so? Okay, students, so this is a very important question in give reasons. Okay, now this you have to remember that in embryonic stage, the testes are contained within the abdominal region. Now, why they are descending down? That you have to know before birth. Because if they do not descend, then they will not, the males will not be capable of producing sperms. Then that means they will be sterile. Why this is so? A slightly higher temperature inside the body does not permit maturation of sperms. But in the normal condition, being in a separate sac suspended from the body, the testes escape too much body heat. So this is the reason why the testes need to descend down in the scrotal sac rather than remaining in the abdominal region. Okay. Now, sperms are produced in the testes at a temperature 2 to 3 degrees centigrade lower than that of the body. This temperature is regulated in a strange manner through the movements of the scrotum wall. When it is too hot, the skin of the scrotum loosens so that the testes hang down away from the body. When it is cold, the skin contracts in a folded manner and draws the testes closer to the body for warmth. So this is a very, very important question for your ICC in give reasons. Okay. Now, what is the structure of the testes? Now you see, this is the diagram of the arrangement of male reproductive organs. This diagram is very important for the labeling for your ICC. Now each testis is encased in a capsule which is internally partitioned into 15 to 20 lobules. Lobules means segments. Now each of those segments contains seminiferous tubule. This is a very, very important part. Why? Because the sperms are produced in it, and the process of sperm production is known as spermatogenesis. Interstitial cells, which are packing tissues between the coils of the seminiferous tubules. The interstitial cells has got another name, that is the Leydig cells, which produces the male hormone testosterone, which is very, very important hormone. Okay. Now this diagram is also very important. Both the diagrams, I'm showing you B and C. Both the diagrams are very important for your labelings, and also number A, which I've shown just now. Okay. All the diagrams are very important, students. You have to practice the labelings. Maybe this will not come for your drawing. The sperm producing cells of the seminiferous tubules keep multiplying and produce sperms. The mature sperms pass into a small network of tubes. From the network arise 12 to 14 ducts which join a small tubular knot called the epididymis. I hope you can see it like, okay, first one thing you see, this seminal vesicle, prostate gland, bulbourethral gland, these three are the accessory glands which are helping the sperm to move. Epididymis is this part which I am talking about right now, a tubular knot-like structure above the testes, and this sac-like structure is the scrotum. Clear? Now, the epididymis is continued by the side of the testes up to its back, from where a distinct tube sperm duct arises. Now, this is the sperm duct. This is the sperm duct. Okay. The epididymis stores the sperms for some days, during which they mature and become motile. These last three lines are the function of epididymis. It stores the sperms for some days, during which they mature and become motile. Motile means capable of movement. Clear? Now, sperm ducts, also known as vas deferens, from each testis travels upward into the abdomen passing through the inguinal canal. Very important, because inguinal canal originally is the one which allows the descent of testes along with their ducts, blood vessels, nerves. Okay. The two sperm ducts loop over the ureters, come together, join the median duct or urethra at the back of the urinary bladder. Now, regarding this accessory glands, seminal vesicles, prostate and bulbourethral, all the three glands has got similar function, that is they serve as the lubricant or a medium for the transportation or for the motility of the sperm. Okay, so the functions are all same, but their locations are different, that you have to learn. Like seminal vesicle located between the posterior surface of the urinary bladder and the rectum. Prostate gland, it surrounds the urethra close to its origin from the bladder. And bulbourethral gland open into the urethra just before it enters the penis. So these locations are very important because you can get this question in your location and function question. Okay. Now penis lies in front of the scrotum, cylindrical in shape, serves for the passing out of both semen and urine. Clear? Now the course of sperms in male. This flow chart is very important as how the sperm is moving from where to where. That you have to know. First it is being produced in seminiferous tubule, then it is going to the network of tubules, then the efferent ducts, then the epididymis head, then the body, then the tail, and then vas deferens, and ultimately going out through the penis. So this flow chart is very important. As you can see from this diagram, all the things very clearly. Efferent ducts, the sperm duct, seminiferous tubules, the green in color, the network, the entangled network, you can see. Testes, the lobules, the segments of the testes, you can see. Epididymis, a highly knotted structure. So everything is very clear from this picture. Okay, so this is a very important picture. Okay students, so today up to this, I'll continue with this in the next class, in my next video. Now till then, you go through the chapter. If any problem, come up with that in the comment box, and be sure that you are at par with the reduced syllabus for your year. Okay, thank you.